allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Here. Here.
Magna.
Here.
Mr. Loretto.
Here.
Mr. Dressel.
Here.
Mrs. Vaughn. Here. Mr. Johnson.
Here.
All members of council are here and accounted for. Before we move into tonight's meeting, I'd like to remind everyone that if they have a cell phone, to please turn them off or put them in the vibrating position. Also, if you can tell, I'm a little under the weather. I don't know if it's sinuses or what, so if I start to lose my voice, I know everyone will cheer, but Mrs. Hahn.
I move that we accept the minutes of the last two meetings. Would be for April 12, 2016 and April 19, 2016.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that the minutes of April 12, 2016 and April 19, 2016 be approved as written. Roll call.
Mr. Paul.
Aye.
Mr. Timmons.
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna.
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto.
Aye.
Mr. Dressel.
Aye.
Mrs. Hahn.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
So moved. Minutes accepted. Petitions and communications, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I have two letters from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control. Notice to the legislative authority regarding the Hartley Company, 302 South 3rd Street, and their application for liquor license. Please complete and return this form to the Division of Liquor Control. Whether or not there is a request for a hearing, refer to this number in all inquiries, EN 364-2873-0095. We request a hearing on the advisability of issuing permit and request that the hearing be held in our county seat or in Columbus, or we do not request a hearing. Please sign below and mark the appropriate box indicating your title.
Mr. Gioretto.
Any applications received, file, made part of the minutes, referred to myself, the city manager, and law director.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that the communications received, file, made part of minutes and referred to the ward councilman, the city manager, the law director, and the police chief. Roll call.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Timmons.
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna.
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto.
Aye.
Mr. Dressel.
Aye.
Mrs. Hahn.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
So moved. Communications accepted. Other communications and petitions, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I believe this one is a duplicate because we already got this, but it's another notice, Sumo Hibachi and Sushi for their liquor license. It's the same one that we had before. Please complete and return this form to the Division of Liquor Control. Whether or not there is a request for a hearing, refer to this number, EN 869-3519. Please sign below and mark the appropriate box indicating your title.
Mr. Bill Magna.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that that letter be recorded, made a permanent part of the record, and forward to myself, law director, police chief, and any other necessary city personnel.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that the communication received, file, made part of minutes and referred to the city manager, the law director, police chief, and ward councilman. Roll call.
Mr. Paul.
Aye.
Mr. Timmons.
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna.
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto.
Aye.
Mr. Dressel.
Aye.
Mrs. Hahn.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
So moved. Communications accepted. Other communications and petitions, Madam Clerk. Mrs. Hahn.
I would ask that we would pull forward resolution 42, sorry, 2016-42, 2016-43, and 2016-44 to be read at this time.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded that we deviate from the rules and pull forward resolution number 2016-42 and resolution number 2016-43. Roll call.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Timmons.
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna.
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto.
Aye.
Mr. Dressel.
Aye.
Mrs. Hahn.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
So moved. We will pull forward resolution number 2016-42 and resolution 43. Resolution number 2016-42 by council as a whole.
Resolution number 2016-42, a resolution proclaiming May 15, 2016 as Peace Officers Memorial Day. Whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15 falls as National Police Week. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the men and women of the law enforcement agency of the city of Steubenville unceasingly provide a vital public service. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Steubenville, county of Jefferson, state of Ohio, that this council calls upon all citizens of the city of Steubenville and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 15th to May 21st, 2016 as Police Week, with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all of our people may join in commemorating law enforcement officers past and present who, by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities, have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. That this council does further call upon all citizens of the city of Steubenville to observe Sunday, May 15, 2016 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community, or have become disabled in the performance of duty, and let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes. That this council does hereby designate May 15, 2016 as Peace Officers Memorial Day, with federal law PL 103-322 directing that all flags be flown at half-staff on the day in honor of fallen officers and their families. That this council extends an invitation to all citizens of Steubenville to attend a special law enforcement memorial service to be held at the amphitheater at the Old Fort Steuben on Wednesday, May 11, 2016 at 9 a.m. That the clerk of this council shall present a certified copy of this resolution to the Steubenville Police Department, and that this resolution shall take effect and be in full force immediately upon its passage and approval by council, otherwise at the earliest period allowed by law.
Mr. Bill Magna.
Mr. Mayor, I move that resolution number 2016-42 be adopted by this body. Roll call.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and second that resolution number 2016-42 be adopted by roll call. Before we have roll call, is there anyone wishing to speak on resolution number 2016-42? Please come forward, state your name and address. Not, roll call.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
Mrs. Han?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
So moved. Resolution number 2016-42 duly adopted. Mr. Bill Magna, will you please come forward? And this evening we have the president of the FOP, Jim Marquis. Would you please come forward?
Jimmy, it's an honor to give you this resolution from the city in proclaiming May 15th as Police Memorial Day. And I was a policeman. I worked with you in the car. I supervised it. And I was in some situations with you that a normal person wouldn't want to be in. So it's with a great pleasure that I did it. And it's an honor to be here with you, and it was an honor to be there with you then. Thank you. Welcome. Get out of here.
It is an honor. I appreciate everything. Every year council gives us this, and it's truly an honor. I've been to DC for Police Week a couple of times. It's very moving, very sad down there. It's a tough job. Obviously, if you keep an eye on the media, police officers are dying at a staggering rate going into this year, mainly by gunfire. And I just want everybody to keep the nation's law enforcement officers in their prayers. If you could, please come over to the fort and join us in our memorial. Gentlemen, please. Thank you.
Officer Markey, I want to take this opportunity also to encourage our citizens to participate on Wednesday, May 11th at 9 a.m. I've been attending every year, and without a doubt, the ceremony is also moving, especially when the list of our officers within our department or region are spoken of in the roll call. However, I think you would agree with me that the attendance isn't always great at the ceremony. I do know that our citizens are concerned about our police officers and want to support our police officer. But quite frankly, I'm going to let everybody in this room know there are more people in attendance at this council meeting than there are at the ceremonies to remember our fallen officers. So I want to encourage everyone Wednesday at 9 a.m. on May 11th to please attend the ceremonies and show your support for these individuals that are dedicated to our community and saving lives. With that, we will now move on to resolution number 2016-43 by council as a whole.
Resolution number 2016-43, a resolution proclaiming May 2016 as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. Whereas spring is in full swing and around the country, motorcyclists are returning to the road after a long winter. But with a sudden spike in the number of motorcycles on the road, it's a good time to remind all motorists, whether on two wheels or four, to keep a special lookout for motorcycles. And whereas that's why May is recognized as National Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, a time for drivers to be reminded to share the road with motorcycles and riders to be reminded to make themselves more visible to others. Whereas motorcyclists travel the roads, streets, and highways in their regular work and school commutes, and in their weekend adventures and vacation rides. And whereas motorcyclists have all the same rights and privileges as any motor vehicle driver on the roadway. And whereas motorcycles are fuel efficient, reduce urban traffic and parking congestion, and tread lightly on the overworked road system and transportation infrastructure for which they help provide funding. And whereas the vast majority of the members of the motorcycling community are genuinely committed to upholding safe and sane policies and procedures for themselves and their passengers, and certainly also for their fellow motorists with whom they share the highways and roads of our city. And whereas since motorcycles lack the protective armor of police and automobiles, which increases the risk of serious accidental injury and death for motorcyclists, all motorists need to operate with caution near motorcycles. And whereas the month of May enjoys special status as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month at the national and state level. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Steubenville, County of Jefferson, State of Ohio, that this council does hereby proclaim the month of May 2016 as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, that this council urges all our citizens to be aware of and support the various motorcycle awareness events throughout our state during the month of May, and that this resolution shall take effect and be in full force immediately upon its passage and approval by council, otherwise at the earliest period allowed by law.
Mr. Bill Magna.
Yes, Mayor. I move that resolution number 2016-43 be adopted by roll call.
Second.
It's been really moved to second that resolution number 2016-43 be adopted by roll call. Before we call the roll, is there anyone wishing to speak on resolution number 2016-43? Please come forward, state your name and address. Not, roll call.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
Mrs. Hahn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
So moved. Resolution number 2016-43 totally adopted. We have no representative here this evening. However, Mr. Bill Magna will personally deliver the resolution. With that, we will now move into the ordinances before City Council, and we'll start off with ordinance number 2016-33 by the Planning Committee, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Dressel, Mrs. Hahn, for its second reading.
Ordinance number 2016-33, an ordinance amending chapter 1175 of the zoning code creating the Cherry Avenue Neighborhood Conservation District.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2016-33. The third and final reading will be scheduled for June 7th. However, there will be a public hearing from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held on June 6th, 7 p.m. here at Council Chamber. Ordinance number 2016-34 by the Planning Committee, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Dressel, Mrs. Hahn, for its second reading.
Ordinance number 2016-34, an ordinance amending chapter 1175 of the zoning code creating the Country Club Hills Neighborhood Conservation District.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2016-34. The third and final reading will be held on June 7th, again with a public hearing scheduled on June 6th, 7 p.m. here in Council Chambers. Ordinance number 2016-35 by the Planning Committee, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Dressel, Mrs. Hahn, for its second reading.
Ordinance number 2016-35, an ordinance amending chapter 1175 of the zoning code creating the Westwood Drive Neighborhood Conservation District.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2016-35. The third and final reading will be held on June 7th with a public hearing scheduled for June 6th, 7 p.m. by the Planning and Zoning Commission here at Council Chamber. Ordinance number 2016-36 by the Planning Committee, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Dressel, Mrs. Hahn, for its second reading.
Ordinance number 2016-36, an ordinance amending chapter 1175 of the zoning code creating the Gray Barton Boulevard Neighborhood Conservation District.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2016-36. Third and final reading will be held on June 7th with a public hearing scheduled for June 6th, 7 p.m. here at Council Chamber. Ordinance number 2016-37 for its second reading by the Safety Committee, Mr. Paul, Mr. Bill Magno, Mr. Timmons.
Ordinance number 2016-37, an ordinance amending chapter 557 of the codified ordinances of the city of Steubenville.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2016-37. The third and final reading will be held on May 10th. If adopted, the effective date of this ordinance will be June 10th. Ordinance number 2016-38 by the Safety Committee, Mr. Paul, Mr. Bill Magno, Mr. Timmons, for its second reading.
Ordinance number 2016-38, an ordinance creating chapter 559 of the codified ordinances of the city of Steubenville.
You heard the second reading of ordinance number 2016-38. The third and final reading will be held on May 10th. If adopted, the effective date will be June 10th. Ordinance number 2016-44 by the Public Utility Committee, Mr. Fioretto, Mr. Dressel, and Mr. Timmons. For its first reading.
Ordinance number 2016-44, an ordinance adding section 921.06 of the codified ordinances of the city of Steubenville.
Here is the first reading of ordinance number 2016-44. Its second reading will be scheduled 2 weeks hence on May 10th. The third and final reading will be held on May 24th with the effective date of June 25th. That will conclude the ordinances and resolutions before City Council this evening. We will now move into the report of committees from the members of council, and we'll start off with Mr. Paul.
Yes, Your Honor. I have two items tonight. One is a letter from the state of Ohio, from Ohio Senate, and it's honoring the City of Steubenville Health Department for outstanding achievement. It says, on behalf of the members of the Senate of the 131st General Assembly of Ohio, we are pleased to congratulate the City of Steubenville Health Department on receiving a Lubus grant from the Ohio Commission on Minority Health. It is not surprising that the City of Steubenville Health Department has attained success, for it has displayed a sincere commitment to increasing awareness of minority health issues. Over the years, This exceptional agency has been tireless in its endeavors in behalf of the community, and this prestigious grant will be used to implement the Lupus Optimal Health Program, which will conduct support groups for individuals with lupus and their caregivers, as well as provide public education activities. All those associated with the City of Steubenville Health Department have distinguished themselves as responsible and hardworking Ohioans, and they are to be commended for their foresight, dedication, and selfless contribution of time and talent. We are proud to note that this is through the diligent efforts of conscientious individuals such as these that the state of Ohio remains a pleasant place in which to live. Thus, it is with genuine pride that we applaud the City of Steubenville Health Department on its recent grant and extend best wishes for the future. Signed, Senator Keith Faber, President of the Ohio Senate. Signed, Senator Lou Gentile, Senator Lou Gentile, System Minority Whip. Nicole, I want to congratulate you and the Health Department. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your hard work. Also, Your Honor,
You're ready.
I would like to move that this communication be received, filed, and made part of the minutes, and referred to the mayor, the president of the health board, city manager, law director, and all members of the council.
Second.
It's been really moved and seconded that the communication be received, filed, made part of minutes, and referred to the mayor as the president of the health board. If you don't mind, we'll include all members of the health board.
Yes.
So, any members of council. Roll call.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Timmons?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. Colorado?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
Mrs. Hahn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
So moved. Communications accepted. Anything further, Mr. Paul?
Yes, there was something I forgot to add. Representative Jack Sayre also has drafted up a letter of thank you for their achievement on the health department, but we received it. It went to the wrong health department. but she also had another. So thank you, Nicole. Thank you to all your members of the health people.
That's our state government.
Hey. Second, I know we've had cleanups the past couple, but I think we're on our third or fourth week. Third one. Yesterday, the city manager and I, we did a little drive around, and so we helped this lady, met a beautiful lady, Mrs. Munez, needed some TVs moved. So the city manager and I went out to the house, thinking we're going to have these big console TVs, because she had to do some cooking for the Greek Festival. I think that's what it was, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so we go out and we look, and the TVs are about this big. We both picked them up under her arm, carried them outside. She was happy. She wanted to cry. I mean, she was in tears. 2 different phone calls to Frankie and Melissa, but we made her day. And so the city manager and I were thinking, we need to get rid of these TVs. We need to go, and we've talked with Mr. Baird about this before. So we went in and we talked to, her name was Natalie.
Yes.
Natalie at JB Green Team. And she told us that on May 31st and June 1st at Cross Creek Township Garage of Caddis Road, Wintersville, and that's across from the old O-Dog garage across the State Highway Patrol Barracks. And my neighbor Stan, he's always asked me about light bulbs, things of that nature. What you can take out here on that weekend, she said you can go to any of these other areas, but what you can do, residents only are invited to participate at any of the below scheduled drop-off collections. Bring your old household junk, appliances, furniture, mattress, carpeting, electronics, which means TVs, we asked her about that, car batteries, household batteries, large toys, play equipment, bikes, yard decorations, etc. No household garbage will be accepted from public haulers. Please bag or box all loose items so that we can move everyone through the line in a timely manner. Standard car and light truck tires are accepted. Rims accepted at Jefferson County sites only. Tire requirements must be 45 inches height and 16 inches wide width, and no heavy accumulation of water or dirt. Like I said, that weekend is May 31st. Or it's not a weekend. It's May 31st, June 1st. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Probably the middle of the week, it sounds like.
Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday? Okay, well, it is a weekend. Thank you. But there's other areas you can do it also, but the only place you can't go is down to Toronto, drop it off. It's only for Toronto residents. But I have this list here, and if you want, next week I can put it up here for everybody's use. if they want to, because I know we have our bulk pickup right now to eliminate all the wear and tear on our employees, our trucks. Because I know Mr. Timmons went for a ride today. I got the Facebook, I don't have Facebook, my daughter sent it to me. But yes, how'd you like that?
I'm sore.
I'm proud of you. You walk a mile in another man's shoes. That's how we always say in the middle.
Yeah, it was.
But yes, so to help out with our bulk pickup here, you have other places that we can go. And that's courtesy to J.D. Green King. I know we pay a small fee for that, but. Okay, Your Honor, I think I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. We'll continue on with committee reports to Mr. Timmons.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Timmons. Mr. Bill Magna?
Nothing this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Bill Magna. Mr. Diaretta?
Yes, Your Honor, short report. Everybody hear me back there? Yeah. Fine. On the same tone, we picked up 796 tires 2 weeks ago, so that's not too many, that maybe they're all gone. We picked up 41 tons of debris in the south end. And when they get to Pleasant Heights and Lake Bell, they should double that amount. I want to thank Franciscan University, Mike Florak, for cleaning up Beatty Park. Year in and year out, they did a very good job. I'm looking forward to them again next year. They're an asset to our community. I also want to comment on the tour that I took, rode with the congressman over Pleasant Heights and Lake Bell. What a disaster. I think he's interested. There's a lot of work to be done up there. He's not too happy. A lot of people are not taking care of their property. A lot of government checks going up there, not being used the proper way, and we're going to get on him. A lot of government money being wasted. This coming Saturday, there'll be a utility committee meeting, myself, Scott, and Eric. We're going to discuss the water situation. I want to go on to Saturday because I've been tired of these long meetings. I'm one that likes to get to the point, don't like to talk. We're going to discuss the deposits, increase the deposits, see if we can turn off the water in a more orderly fashion so the landlords don't get stuck with the bill, or the tenants. If someone gets water, I want 2 signatures on that slip, just like when you borrow money at the bank, someone has to sign you up or back you up. I have 2 apartments in my ward. Landlords live in California. Can't get to them. Water bill, no gas bill, and everything else. That's something we can't have. And finally, I want to thank Mr. Mattis for his hard work and Mr. Rapello for his hard work, taking the first participants who didn't pay their water bill to court. I think there's going to be some more coming, and all those people that are on government checks, you better start paying their water bills, their other bills, or you might be losing your vouchers or being caught up with fraud. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diaretta. So, Mr. Diaretta, you're calling for a Public Utilities Committee meeting?
I'm very sad.
The members of the Public Utility Committee, Mr. Diaretta, Mr. Bill Magna, Mr. Timmons.
Correct.
Okay. And that is going to be Saturday.
This Saturday, 1:30. What we recommend, we'll bring back, we're not going to have any policies or anything. We're just going to toss ideas around, 1 hour or less. And we'll bring everything back to council. You can add or delete. Pardon?
Nothing, you're great. You're doing good. It's not you. It's not you.
Okay, so there's a Public Utility Committee meeting called for Saturday at 12:30. And the clerk will facilitate the proper notice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diaretta. If there's nothing further, we'll move on to Mr. Dressel.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Dressel. Mrs. Hahn?
Nothing this evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Hahn. Mr. Johnson?
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. That will conclude the reports of committees from the members of council. Before we move on to the administration officers, I do want to take this opportunity To first of all remind members of council that I have before you 2 appointments. So before the end of the meeting, if we can have a motion to accept both appointments, one on the Metropolitan Housing Authority and the other on the Public Library Board. Secondly, I would like to announce this evening that the city of Steubenville will be celebrating the 4th of July, America's birthday, on the 4th of July, noting that it is Monday this year, but going through everybody's schedules and what is planned in our park system and all, the 4th, and rightfully so, we will have the firework display. I have some flyers here. I provided all members of council on a whole day of activities. We'll do a opening prayer service along with a salute to our military at 10 a.m. across the street at the Veterans Fountain, and how appropriate with all the military service flags around the fountain to kick off America's birthday. Once again, at 12 noon, we will have the senior citizen luncheon at prime time on Lover's Lane, and there will be limited but some transportation provided from the 2 senior citizen housing centers, high-rises, out to the prime time location. We will have for the youth of our community free swim from 12 noon to 5 p.m. at Bellevue Pool. Starting at 4 p.m., we have invited different vendors to set up at Bellevue Park, getting ready for that evening. At 5 p.m., we'll have music starting by the music provided by a DJ. And then from 5 to 9 p.m., we will have a family-free fun zone with inflatable games by Kurt James set up in the lower end of the Bellevue Park. And then at 9:45, we'll have the fireworks display. So, with everything going on, and I do know that the City of Toronto is having their fireworks display Saturday evening and all, I encourage our residents not to go outside of the area, to stay here in the Ohio Valley and enjoy all the festivities throughout the whole weekend, and end up Monday celebrating the 4th with us either at the Primetime Center or at Bellevue Park. Also this evening, I have invited Pastor Bobby John. Would you please come forward? If you can recall, last year I asked the pastor, after attending I Serve, a youth organization, and he's assistant pastor at Starkdale Presbyterian Church, to give us an update of all the great things that are happening in our community and what the youth are involved in our community. And throughout the year, of course, Pastor and I stayed in contact and all, but there was a lot of positive and good things. In fact, I had convinced Pastor that possibly the I Serve group, the youth group again, could assist us with a community project, and we're working out some details with the questers on giving some attention, much needed attention, to the watering trough on Market Street. I know there's been a couple of people questioning it. We're kind of limited on what we can do because it's really a historical site and very significant to the city of Steubenville. I had very briefly asked the city manager if possibly our crews could get up there and do a quick pass and all, and then we could go in with the youth group and do some of the final touches with a letter that was received by the city manager and I from the questers, Jody, asking that we bring our attention to that and that they were willing to assist. However, that group is, and I can understand, of an aging group, and mostly women are involved. So they're going to provide the refreshments and the snacks for our youth and give them words of encouragement. But there's so many positive things happening by the youth of our community. I asked the pastor to give us an update this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, City Council, as well. There are a lot of good things going on. One scripture out of Romans chapter 5 says, where sin abounded, grace abounded evermore. And we have a lot of wrong things going on in Steubenville, but we have a lot of right things going on as well. And I'm just going to highlight just some of the things that are going on with the youth. I'm a part of, started an organization called the Valley Youth Workers Network, which brings together not only youth pastors in the city, but also social agency workers. Mary Beth comes to the meetings as well. We have Franciscan representatives that come out also. And Therese has been out there. I mean, we have all kinds of folks that come out who want to do good in the community in and through the youth. And what we do is we meet and then we plan and strategize to do different things in the community that will be positive activities for them. Some are church related, some are not church related, but all of them are good things to get the kids involved. Because when kids get involved with other adults and with other kids that are of like mind, then their hearts start to change and they begin to do positive things in the community and build the community up. When I came to Steubenville 3.5 years ago, I thought, I really want to change the city. I was kind of like John Wesley said, the world is my parish. Well, that's a little bit too big for me. Steubenville is my parish. I want to really reach out to this one city, to be, in a sense, a missionary here, to reach out, to make a positive change within the community. But one person can't do that. They have to build a coalition of people together to make an impact. And so I just started calling churches, calling social agencies, and now we meet once a month, every Monday, or I should say once a month on the first Monday of the month, from 6:30 to 7:30 at Starkdale Church. And we have around 35 individuals that get together and we strategize to plan events, come together with different ideas, and then we'll support other ministries and other social agency events, and then we'll plan some ourselves. The one thing that I'm going to mention a couple things, but that's really taken off is something called the Sunshine Bible Club. The schools actually bus the students in to that club from all the elementary schools. We have between 60 and 130 kids that are bused in every single Monday. It meets every week. And the kids, a lot of times the mothers or grandmothers will be coming in staggering, that they're high on crack and things like that. And I'm thinking, this is exactly why we're doing what we're doing. We need to reach these kids at this time because a lot of them are coming from homes where they need, guidance. They need spiritual mentoring. They need an adult that just cares about them. So and this is an ecumenical thing. It involves all different kinds of churches, and they come together and encourage these kids. We've been meeting all year. And also, Wintersville thought, well, we're going to start one too. So they started one, modeling after ours. They have a Sunshine Bible Club that has 75 kids in theirs now that are meeting at Wintersville Elementary. But I see this as a 10-year plan because a lot of these kids who are 17, 18 years old, it may be too late to reach them. And that's why we started this program to start these kids from kindergarten on up, to get some moral truths built within their lives. Also, we started some mentoring initiatives. The one that we started as the Valley Youth Workers Network is called the 3D Mentoring Group. It meets every single Tuesday after school. We have around 30 kids that meet. We have young adults that lead that group. Trey Jeter is a part of that. Also myself, and there's about 10 different individuals that are part of that reach out to these kids and mentor them. We have different social agency leaders, court officials. Jane Hanlon was there last week to speak to the kids. We have a lot of folks that are just building into these kids' lives. We brought in some assembly speakers a couple times a year that speak at Big Red High School in Indian Creek as well. We had in Darryl Strawberry. You guys might remember him from New York Mets, New York Giants. New York Yankees. And he spoke. We had 750 people that came to that. Maurice Claret, who had a real life change and a turnaround from the Ohio State Buckeyes, came in to speak. He runs a mentoring program in Columbus. Did a tremendous job speaking for us. Steubenville's own Sylvia Crawley, some of you guys may remember her. She came in to speak. We had around 750 people, and she spoke to the school as well. So they aren't just speaking to the church youth groups, or they actually come into the schools and do some programming as well to speak to the youth to encourage them. Sylvia, her title was, Can Anything Good Come Out of Steubenville? Which is kind of based upon the verse where it says, Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Because Christ came out of Nazareth. So it was a very encouraging talk that she gave. And so we continue to have those events, as well as we have all Valley Youth Rallies every couple months that pull in 250 kids to the Big Red High School auditorium. The last one we had met at the center court at the Fort Steuben Mall, and that was a great event. The Steubenville High School administration has been very, very generous to us. I meet with Mr. Gorman as well as Mrs. Young and Mr. Yannick every single month. They have myself and 3 other clergy meet with them to find different ways that the churches can help out with the schools and the schools can help out with the churches, which is unprecedented. Trust me, I came from Madison, Wisconsin. I'm probably locked up right now, I'm telling you, if I was trying to do this there. But by God's grace, we're all trying to do much of the same things. We're trying to get youth raised up to live moral lives, and the schools have been really good here concerning that. We did a back-to-school bash. We had 1,000 kids tied in with the Urban Mission. We gave, or I should say, 1,200 kids came out to that. We gave backpacks away through the Urban Mission. We did a concert at Berkman Amphitheater concerning that. We did a Bridges Out of Poverty event where we had the kids do a poverty simulation. And all juniors and seniors at Steubenville High School were a part of that, where they got a card that said, "You're a single mother, you are in welfare now. Now go and make your way throughout a day or through a month." And then they would have to go to a pawn shop. They'd have to go to a Quick King or something. And so it was kind of an interesting way that a lot of kids who hadn't been in poverty learned about it. A lot of kids who were in poverty, also thought I maybe want to better my life than what this is like. And that was tied in with the Urban Mission as well. We started Lisa Ward from Coleman Counseling Services, as many of y'all know. She spoke at our church, and out of the genesis of that, we're starting a suicide coalition she's starting. And that met actually a couple of days ago. We had around 20 that were there because a couple of the kids' mothers said, and actually their daughters were sitting right there, said that they tried to commit suicide. So it's a definite need within our community. We reestablished a baccalaureate service, which hadn't been meeting at Steubenville Big Red for over 10 years. We need to bring that back. So it's back again, and Nate Freeman's going to be speaking at that. Many of y'all know him, Steubenville Big Red graduate. That's coming up on May 23rd. We did the Valley's Got Talent competition. We had 500 people at the Steubenville High School auditorium that were in attendance for that. We had 20 different acts that performed at that. We were able to raise $1,000 prize money for that. We had Brian Johnson from the Voice television show that came down. WTOB 9 also was there that did a great job, had a celebrity guest host. And that was a tremendous event where we were able to take some of that young talent, and now they're going out in the community and singing at different events. I have some that are going to be speaking at the memorial service coming up at the cemetery. And so I'm able to just get a lot of these kids out who might be singing in the shower at home, but now they're able to sing in the community and bless other people with their talent. Then just 2 more things. The one thing that I've just been blown away by is the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Clubs that we have started. When I came here, there wasn't any of them meeting, none. And it's an organization that mainly they study the Bible before school, but they also do positive activities in and throughout the city through social actions. And Big Red High School started one. Now they got around 35 kids meeting every single Wednesday studying the Bible, and they're also helping out at the Friendship Warming Room now, gathering supplies for them. Also Harding Middle School, we're packing the room. We had 5 kids standing a week ago, and we had them meet. There were so many kids wanting to study the Bible before school. At Edison Middle School and High School, they have 25 kids that meet every single week on Wednesdays. Both Indian Creek Middle School and High School meet every week. Toronto High School and Middle School meet, but they have 40 kids there. And so it's the way I average it out, over 200 kids are studying the Bible before school, and it's fully legal as long as it's before school every single week, where none had before. So we're kind of seeing a little bit of renewal there, at least in their spiritual life. And I think even if you're not a Christian, just a person of goodwill, this is a positive thing for the community and for our youth. Hopefully you see that. And like I said, we're not pushing kids to go to any of our churches or anything. You go ahead, you don't have to go to church to go to them. Go to the church your parents go to, that's great. Because, we're in such a state that we just really need, to reach kids for God. That's really where we need to be at. And then the final thing I'm going to mention is we have an I Serve Day of Service. And I do have some flyers if you guys want to take them. And that's coming up on Saturday, May 7th. And it's tied in with the Urban Mission. And what we do is we go in and throughout the city and do service projects, helping out the poor, the disenfranchised. Also, we help out down at the Urban Mission. We're going to work at the War Memorial Building. We also are going to be working at the Hutton House, the Joshua House, doing some landscaping outside as well. It's all free of charge. The kids get a t-shirt. They get a free pizza luncheon as well. And adults are welcome to come. The schools are tied into this as well. Big Red sending their Key Club. Also, the middle school sending their Leo Club. And so, and also if you have adult groups that want to come on down, there's plenty of work to do. I talked to Ashley, she said, send as many as you want. So if you have a group that from your business or whatever that wants to come on down and help out, or a contractor, or a pair of hands, just come on out this coming up in a couple of Saturdays from 9 to 3 o'clock. You don't have to stay the full time either. But that's all I have for tonight. But I appreciate you guys allowing me to speak this evening, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Pastor. And I do want to add that last year, in talking to the pastor, in fact, that across the street at the amphitheater, we decided to take on the challenge, and the volunteers, the I Serve youth group, painted the underpass from Harding School to Bob Evans. That's kind of out of sight, and a lot of people don't realize how that is used by the youth at Harding School, but also during football season with our citizens utilizing it. It was in pretty bad shape, and the aroma underneath there was not pleasant, and you can imagine. But they spent a whole day scrubbing it down and repainting it, and it turned out wonderful. Unfortunately, kids will be kids, and there are some return graffiti there that will get removed. But that shows you what an asset the youth can be to our community also. And we're looking for some great things with the watering trough. And anybody that would like to volunteer can surely contact my office. And as soon as we get the details nailed down on when we're going to do it and how we're going to approach it, I would appreciate and get that word out to everyone. With that, that will conclude any reports from my office. Again, I want to remind Mr. Goodman.
Mayor, I forgot one thing, well, two things actually, after spoke here. I had occasion, me and Mr. Stuckart, we grew up together, and he called me and he brought me down to the basketball game that the youth was involved with the prayer before they played. And I was so impressed with that program, how these kids, I mean, they're little kids, they were first, second grade, they were playing like 8th graders, but the camaraderie, the sportsmanship was a lot different, and you could clearly tell that there was a difference in that auditorium when they were playing. That's on that. And the second thing was, I forgot, we have more good news. Randy Byram is sitting here in the audience, and he just opened up Laney Tire, the 300 block of North 3rd Street.
Not open yet, not open yet.
Okay, he's getting ready to open up though, and Mr. Saltzman was down there putting the lettering up. So we got a new business coming to town, and he took time to come down to the council meeting, and welcome to the city of Steubenville.
Thank you so much.
May you prosper.
If you are, Mr. O'Magna. We will now move into the administrative officer's report, and we'll call on our city manager, Mr. Mather.
Thank you, Mayor. To add on to Mr. Villamagna, which I was going to discuss, but since you brought it up on Mr. Byron, I welcome you to the city. May 2nd is his tentative opening date there. It's going to be at 246 North 3rd Street.
That's correct.
So again, welcome to the city of Steubenville. We wish you the best on your business there.
Thank you.
Several complaints have come in. I've been here 62 days. I've talked to numerous citizens throughout the city. One of the common thing was the Indianapolis 500 on Sunset Boulevard, speeding. So what we did for a week is we had a measure of speed there, and out of 45,274 vehicles, there were 43,690 violations. Those are vehicles over the speed limit. So that tells me one thing: the citizens are deadpan accurate on what they're reporting, and this is going to be dealt with. We're working on a few things right now, gathering a little bit more data, but this will be addressed. So again, I thank the citizens that have come forward and made this known. They've also made this known to other residential areas, and we have dealt with this. Our police department has dealt with it in a professional manner, and I think we've answered the questions on some of these neighborhoods here. Time and time again, it's more perception than reality. We hear about complaints of our city building department. This came in today. It's an email, about a half a page, and it's from Kenneth Stellis Buildings Corporation out of Greensboro, North Carolina. They specifically cited Karen Dobinsky and Anthony Bodo on their fine cooperation in assisting them on issues that they had. They said they've been in cities, all over the country, and they couldn't believe the amount of help that was given to them by our building department. So again, part of my job is putting to rest the rumors that go through this town and give you the facts of it. So again, all the meetings that I've personally sat in and watched our employees, they have done an excellent job. And one of the questions that I did ask Mr. Byron, did he have any issues with our city? He said absolutely not. So again, there's always checks and balances. I'm not going to sit and tell you they're human beings. They could have a bad day. But while I've been here for 62 days, I've not seen a bad day from any of my employees. Which brings me up now to the second week we just concluded on the bulk pickup collection. The city has spent a total of $6,433.02. We've collected 54.18 tons collected. I've driven around every Saturday. I've looked around to see. We continually have certain people that want to abuse the system. Just follow the rules. Last week on North 6th Street, there was a completely apartment complex that was emptied out and expected the city to pick this up, which we denied. I contacted the owner of the property and explained to him, listen, the procedure is very simple. You need to hire a contract employer to pick this up. The reason being, for 7 months, the water hadn't been paid. It's been shut off since the day he bought the building, plus 4 months previous to that. So again, it continually happens. It may not seem like a big thing, but when you sit and look at it, the additional wear and tear on our equipment, but more importantly, the additional wear and tear on our employees. They have to repeatedly load up these dump trucks, go back over, and we're making additional tonnage here. This is for the law-abiding citizens. Pay the bills, then they should have their refuse picked up when we have these bulk pickups. So again, all I can do is advise you, we do spot checks. If it doesn't fall within the regulations, it's not going to be picked up. So again, I thank the citizens that do abide by this. I thank our landlords that do abide by this. And the people that don't, then we're not going to be picking it up. And then we will send our enforcement code officer out to visit with you. And Mayor, I think that concludes what I have for you right now. Thank you. Yes, well, again, I have the department heads here. Mr. Dole, if you want to comment, please go ahead.
Just an update on some projects that's going to be coming up in the near future. Everybody hear me? The 2016 City Hot Mix Resurfacing Improvement Project, we opened up bids on April 13th. We opened them up at 12 noon. We had two bidders, Shelley and Sands out of Rayland and Lash Paving out of Coleraine, Ohio. The low bidder was Shelley and Sands. The base bid, which consisted of Lover's Lane and Market Street, was $513,606. The ad alternate one, which was East Argonne Avenue, was $54,535, and ad alternate two, which was Prospect Avenue, was $65,312. The budget for the project is $614,668. So at this time, I'm going to recommend we do the base bid and ad alternate one. That leaves us with a little bit of money left over, and once we get into the project, if we can realize some savings, we'll go down and we'll do some payment adjustments on Prospect as well. But right now, we're just recommending to award the base bid, which is Lover's Lane Street, and at alternate one, which is Argonne East. Okay.
Hearing no objections, with the recommendation of the engineer and the recommendation of the city manager, the contract will be awarded to Shelley and Sands, $568,141.80, adding alternate one projects, and it's within the budget. Hearing no objections, with
Okay, no, I have no objection.
Hearing no objections, will the administration can enter into that, and we already approved that through.
Just one other thing with that, Mayor. Sorry about that. There's $125,000 of grant funding tied to that project, and that grant funding won't become available until July 1st, between July 1st and July 2nd, after the year starts. So we will not enter into a contract with Shelley until after that, after Mr. Matters enters into a contract with the Ohio Public Works Commission. So this project probably will not start until August 1st. The next one we have is Chris's Community Development Block Grant Resurfacing Project, which we had a pre-construction meeting today. That also was awarded to Shelley and Sands last week for $151,000. And that is Maryland Avenue from Bellevue to McDowell. And that project should start within the next 30 days and be completed by July 1st of this year.
That was already authorized.
That was already authorized, correct. And then the intersection improvement project for Lovers Lane and Fort Steubenville Drive, the right-of-way plans are complete. All right-of-way has been acquired. The plans are actually complete. The plan specs and the engineering estimate are due to the Ohio Department of Transportation on May 25th. And that project is estimated at $1,103,000. And that project is, the construction portion is 100% funded through the federal government. On or around May 16th, the utilities will start to get relocated. The first utility to get relocated will be AEP, which means the poles will each get moved anywhere from 5 to 10 feet on the west side. So that will start probably right on or around May 16th and last for 2 or 3 weeks. The next utility to get relocated will be Columbia Gas. They'll need to relocate their gas lines, and that should start around June 13th, and that should last about 3 weeks. During both of those phases of utilities, Lovers Lane will be closed to a certain extent. We'll maintain access to the properties, but through traffic will be prohibited. The lane is just not wide enough for the large amount of construction vehicles to be there to maintain traffic. We'll let all the media know, so everybody will be well aware, as well as the buses. That particular project, we're looking to bid out late June, early July. We're looking for a start date of March 1st of 2017 and a completion date of July 31st of 2017. Is there any questions about any of those projects?
Thank you, Mr. Dollar. Mr. McManus.
One thing I failed to mention, May 2nd, the parking lot that is behind the city building here and on 4th and Court Alley will be closed as of May 2nd. We're going to completely refinish that parking lot. It's going to be designated a 2-hour parking when it reopens. The monthly parking customers we had, they will move down to 4th and Adams at that parking lot. As long as they have a parking sticker on their rear view mirror, they're fine to park there. But that lot is what council has requested. It will be completed in May, so it's ready for our festivities in June. And I think with the Grand Theater, with the Denmark's reopening, all this is going to benefit the patrons coming down here. It's 2-hour parking, the whole lot there, and there will be some handicap spots in there. So Mayor, I wanted to let you know that it's on its way.
Thank you, Mr. McManus, and we'll go back to Mr. Dollar.
My apologies, I had one other project. The East Carlton Road and Bryden Road Waterline Replacement Project, Phase 1 and Phase 2. It's currently out for bid, and bids we do at City Manager's office on May 18th, 2016. That project consists of the base bid, which is East Carlton. That would be approximately $335,000. And then Phase 2, which is Bryden Road, is $183,000 for a total of $518,000. The city will be able to award that project either on the base bid or the base bid plus the alternate, whichever we feel is better for us. That project should start probably around the middle of July.
Thank you, Mr. Dolak. And when we get closer to awarding that project and moving forward, let's have a report on the funding sources. I do know some of our capital improvement, infrastructure improvement in the water is included along with some, I think, OWP, Public Works. We'll get into that. Mr. Bill Magna.
Yeah, Mike, did we talk that we're going to have a town hall meeting about this so we can explain to the citizens what's going on?
Yes, correct. Last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, letters went out to all the residents that are affected along Bryden and along East Carlton. And I've had some phone calls, and probably as soon as the numbers come in, I'll make a trip to some of the homes where we have to talk about a few issues that we have that you and I spoke about. And then we will have a public meeting for the residents to answer any of those questions that I'm thinking we probably would have that at prime time.
Good, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bellman. Thank you, Mr. Dolak. We'll continue on with the administrative officer's report to our law director, Mr. Rappel.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Rappel. And once again, we'd like to thank department heads for attending tonight's
3 years ago, statute, they moved it from Route 7, and they brought it down. They did.
and how appropriate for the steel statue that was located at
for Ridge Avenue up on Labelle. Just a question, Mayor, or anybody here on City Council. A friend of mine was very instrumental in the making of the steel worker statue. His name is Dimitri Akins, and I just would like to suggest that some plaque or something be added to the statue that acknowledges his artwork in the making of that statue. I'm not sure he's the only one who made it, but I know that he was one of the primary artists who did make it, and I think that his efforts should be recognized. Thank you.
I can forward that information on to Carmen DeStefano, who Mr. Cimarella indicated put the program together, and maybe if he's willing to insert that in the program recognition of the individual. I do recall the individual. I happened to be here back then. And I do know that there were several efforts, including the steelworkers, and the 90 involved in that. And if I'm not mistaken, and correct me, Mr. Cimarella, if I'm not the president,
Mark Phillips.
Mark Phillips was also involved with that. But you want to comment, Mr.
Yeah,
Cimarella?
Mr. Hall had a lot to do with that other thing we saved.
Right.
And Mr. Hall has also worked with Carmen, so they know more. But I just wanted to invite everybody, because sometimes they miss, I don't get the paper and all that, so I didn't, I
Mr.
got it wrong.
Cimarella, if you could forward that information to Mr. DeStefano, Carmen, and I'll try to find him and follow that up before Friday also.
I'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to City Council on city business? Please come forward, state your name and address.
Carlotta Jordan, 616 Ross Park Boulevard. I would like to thank all the people here who gave the donation for our cleanup. And it was wonderful. We didn't have to take anything out of our pockets this time. And the students were wonderful. They did Adams Street Hill. They came in, a group came in earlier, and they said, oh, we did Adams Street Hill. What the city manager? I said, the city manager. They said yes. And so I told them to get water and everything. They had each one coffee to eat. And I'd like to thank the councilmen who really helped in our wards, Philoretta, Michael, and Eric, and they really helped. They were out there doing their work. They worked very hard. I would like to also thank everyone who has participated in this event. And I will be calling on you all in the fall because we'll have another one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Jordan. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to City Council on city business? Please come forward, state your name and address.